Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Game Patrol, the absolute greatest podcast in the universe, hosted by me, Landon Plumley. Hello. Welcome again. Yeah. So, first off, I want to say a couple things. I apologize for the tardiness of last week's episode and then the complete absence of an episode the week before. It's been a lot. If you listen/watch to the last podcast, I talked a lot about what was going on at that. I haven't gotten much sleep. It's been busy. This past week has been another busy week, but I'm getting a little more sleep. I've spent a lot of time. I spent the past couple months, 2020, just really trying to focus on my mental health and try to make sure that that's okay. But in doing that, I've kind of neglected a lot of other aspects of my life. So now I'm kind of focusing on those aspects. And part of that is sleep. You would think with the mental health that I would get more sleep, but that's not really how it works. And so I'm trying to focus on that a whole lot, which means I haven't played a whole lot of games this past week as well as last week. It's been rough. The future is kind of coming into question. Last week I talked about how there were 6 big games coming in March, and I'm going to talk more about that later. My plan was to play all of them. Now, that's still my goal, but whether or not that happens remains to be seen. Just because I'm making a lot of executive decisions about how I want to change things going on in my life to better improve it and things like that. So I'm doing a lot of reevaluating, but I will keep you guys posted on that. But the only reason I say that is because it does affect this podcast and, what I talk about, that sort of thing. Also, another thing, like I said last week, I am looking for co-hosts, anybody to do a little segment with, that sort of thing. And so if you're super passionate, if you are in the relative area of Indiana, please let me know if you are interested. Either on Twitter at Plumley_Landon, PLUMLEY_LANDON, or email me at LandonPlumley@gmail.com, or comment down on the YouTube channel on this video if you're watching on YouTube, or head on over to the channel and slap a comment, get into contact with me. We can set something up. And so looking for that every week now. Wasn't planning on doing anything this week, but starting next week, I would like to. Whether or not that happens remains to be seen, because that's not exactly something that's guaranteed. However, I am going to be on spring break next week, which means I have access to some different people because of that. So I might be able to find some cool things there. But again, we shall see. So getting into the games that are coming this week, we've got a few. Got a few games coming out, and one of them is really, really big, and I'm very excited about. So, tomorrow, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX comes out on Nintendo Switch. What if you woke up one day and you were a Pokemon? You can meet and recruit Pokemon in a dungeon-crawling adventure within their world. Build a rescue team to take on mysterious, changing dungeons, and strategically plan your moves as you venture forth to make the Pokemon world a safer place, and uncover your true purpose along the way. So this is a remake of 2 games, actually, that were for the DS. They came out in 2006. But they were pretty well received back then. I imagine this is going to fall in the 75 to 83 range on Metacritic. It's piqued my interest. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on it, but it's nothing I'm super duper excited about that I'm like, I need to buy right now. But if you're a huge Pokemon nerd, you got a game coming out tomorrow. Get excited. There is a demo if you're interested on the eShop. It's been there for a little while, so if you are not sure, you can jump into that and have some fun times. Then on Tuesday, again, apologize for pronunciation, but Langrisser 1 and 2 are coming to PS4 and Nintendo Switch. The battle between light and chaos comes to a head in this remake of legendary strategy RPGs, Langrisser 1 and Langrisser 2. So this is kind of your standard strategy JRPG. It says legendary, but I've never heard of them. Although it does kind of ring a bell. However, there's a lot of JRPGs that sounds similar to Langrisser. I don't know what they're called because I don't play them, but I've definitely seen Leaf Thresser. There we go. There's one of them I've heard of, have not played. and then Langrisser. Yeah, that whole thing. If you're interested in JRPGs, especially strategy JRPG, maybe you played Three Houses and loved it and want some more. There you go. Tuesday coming out. So I have no idea if it's really that close to Three Houses. I really don't know much about this game, but it's a strategy RPG. It has a Japanese aesthetic. So there you go. And then finally, my baby, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is coming out on Wednesday, and I am so excited. So from the creators of Ori and the Blind Forest, the acclaimed adventure game with more than 50 awards and nominations, comes the highly anticipated sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Embark on an all-new adventure in a vast and exotic world where you'll encounter towering enemies and challenging puzzles on your quest to unravel Ori's true destiny. And for everyone that has an Xbox or a PC, and you like, okay, I should say this. If you have those and you have Game Pass, you have no excuse not to play this game because you get it free with Game Pass. If you don't have Game Pass, it's literally always on sale for like $1. So pay $1 to play this game because it will be amazing. I played the first one. I had a great time. I'm very excited to play this one. It's just an incredible indie darling. And do the developers own the studio, or not? Does Microsoft own the studio that's making Ori? I don't think they do. I think they just publish it because they're great people. But I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And there's a crick in my neck. Oh my lord, I'm an old man, I'm telling you. Like, I think it's just because of mistreatment of my body for 20 years, but also sleep deprivation / getting my plasma sucked out twice a week. It's rough. I need this spring break so bad. I mean, I'm working full time, but at least I'm not working as a full-time student and have a work study and an internship and try to have a social life in there. So, you know, it's still better than college in terms of work amount of free time. So anyway, yeah, very excited for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I will try my hardest to play that as much as I can. It's nice because it is coming out Wednesday, like my spring break, so I should be able to devote a pretty decent amount of time into it. However, fingers crossed, because I've been making a lot of promises lately that I have not been able to keep. So yeah, I hope so. I really do. And so that about wraps up the games coming out this week. Now jumping into the gaming news. So this week's gaming news is kind of biased. Like, I didn't necessarily cut out any big news. It's just, if you've listened to this podcast enough, you definitely will understand the bias going on, because there's two big streaming ones that I put in here because it's something I like to watch closely. And so first off, we're gonna, again, I always start from the newest. And so E3 plans are supposedly continuing after LA declares a state of emergency over the coronavirus. And so I'm going to loop another news bit into this because essentially the whole deal with the coronavirus has put a lot of gaming and just world events in general into question. GDC 2020, pretty much every exhibitor dropped out, which then caused the actual event to be postponed into the summer, where they're going to have a GDC event. So we still don't know what's going on there, but it was effectively canceled. They called it postponed. We're still not sure exactly how it's going to work out, but yeah, that got postponed. Eve Online, something like, I don't know, that the Eve International, whatever that was called, I don't know that convention that much. That was canceled because of the coronavirus. There's rumors that the Tokyo Olympics might get postponed, although they've denied, like they've said they're confident and all that. People are starting to worry because the coronavirus is only infecting more and more people. And yes, I know. So without trying to get too like political here, yes, the death rate is currently at 3.8%, and that 3.8% are all people that are older, like above the age of 55, that sort of thing. However, what people fail to understand, the people that are just like, it's no big deal, whatever, is that diseases mutate. And so if we don't take precaution, you know, it could get worse. And I just saw an article saying that there are two strains. I don't know that either is like severely worse than the other, but it's a problem, especially because we're seeing all these world events being canceled or supposedly canceled or rumored to be canceled or postponed or anything. You know, it's having pretty big effects. I mean, Italy all the schools in an entire country are closed until March 15th. Like, there's some big stuff going on in the world because of coronavirus. And so it's a big deal. And while I'm not going to be the type of person to say you can't make fun of this, just to have a little bit of a sense of urgency about it, like, you can make your jokes and your memes and everything, but don't just shrug it off, because it is a big deal. There's a lot that have been infected, and yeah, some have gotten over it, but some haven't. And you know, just because you're under the age of 50 doesn't mean you should not care about the people who are dying, because it's a lot. I also heard that some Amazon workers have been infected now, so that sucks. I have an Amazon package coming in tomorrow, so I'm low-key scared about it. But I guess today for you guys. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's also hits for me specifically because, you know, I'm going to E3. If E3 gets canceled, that sucks, because I reserved my hotel. I'm in the process of getting a flight, like a plane ticket over there, and I can cancel the hotel, and I'm sure E3 will refund me. But plane tickets, you don't mess with canceling plane tickets. That's an ordeal. And so I'm a little worried. And I really hope that this gets nipped in the bud. And I wish people would stop joking about it to the point where they're not taking it seriously, because that could screw over my E3 plans. No, it's bigger than that, but you know, it affects a lot of people's lives. So please just wash your hands, be careful, don't do anything stupid, and take this seriously. You know, even if only 3% are dying, that's still, it should be 0%. You know, the coronavirus should be eradicated, and people need to take it a little more seriously. I'm not saying you have to be completely serious about it. I love a joke as much as everybody else. I make plenty of jokes about the coronavirus, but have some decency with it. There we go. There's my politics for the day. I could get way more into politics. I was very close to adding a minor in political science, so I know I could definitely be way worse. But next up, former God of War executive producer is heading a new Google Stadia dev team. This was something just came out yesterday for you guys, today for me. I was surprised by, because Stadia is opening another development team in Playa Vista, sorry if I mispronounced that, California. And so, you know, Jade Raymond is another big name, and she's leading her own studio. And she announced that we're getting Shannon Studstill, who was the former director of Sony Santa Monica. And so then Sony Santa Monica announced the person, like their new head, which is like Yumi Yoshida. I something along those lines. Please don't quote me on that at all. It's I know that they've been with PlayStation for 19 years, so still think Santa Monica is in good hands. But yeah, this was really cool. I was really excited about this because it shows that Stadia is not backing down. You know, they still have plans. They're still doing things. I talked last week about how Stadia has been moving in the right direction. Another thing that happened this week in terms of Stadia is they finally launched where you can, well, one, the free games for this month came out, which there's 3, like I talked about last week. So those are all available on Stadia for Stadia Pro subscribers, which I kept my subscription, of course. And then they just launched, now you can view your screenshots on the web, where it used to be you could only view them on your phone. Sorry, I got a text. You can only view them on your phone, which was ridiculous, but now you can finally view them on the web, and so that's really nice. Yeah, it seems like they're making more regular updates. Also, one more thing, Serious Sam, the collection, is now on Stadia, and it's very tempting. Serious Sam 3 is a really fun game, and I haven't played the first 2, but I mean, it's probably not that good looking of a game now, but I just remember playing it being like, this is such an amazing looking game, because I had it on the PC, right? So I can make it look really, really pretty. And so I just remember like 2012 being like, oh my gosh. So it's pretty old game now. So I'm wondering if, you know, that's all nostalgia, but I just remember it being a really good looking game. So I've been tempted with purchasing it, but I shouldn't, because I literally could play it on my PC right now. It'd have no problems, and it probably would look better. I don't know. Yeah. So Stadia is still making moves. It's exciting to see that, because it shows that they're not giving up. Hopefully they can turn this around, because they just, you know, they're doing really cool things. However, it's good things compared to the fall. It's still not really they're still not really doing good things that matched up to what our expectations were. Like, I would have expected Stadia to be this huge hit by now, you know, great launch, and now they've got plenty of games and everything's fully there. Stadia Base is launched. That's what I expected last year to be happening by March of 2020, and we still haven't gotten that. But compared to whatever that launch was, you know, Stadia is making a lot of progress, and so I'm hoping that they continue this momentum, and that by the end of 2020, we'll be in a much different situation with Stadia. And I think that's perfectly possible, but I do hope it happens soon, because the longer Stadia takes to do this, the more developers are going to not want to be a part of Stadia, and that will just hurt them further down the line. And so, next up, Final Fantasy VII Remake got a demo that is now live. It's causing a lot of controversy because there are some people that just really feel like it's kind of a cash grab. Like, they... just by, because you can play the first chapter now, but just through that, people are like, this seems really stretched. Like, did this really have to be, you know, did they really have to make only Midgard a thing? Like, they made it a full Final Fantasy game, only like a third of the game they stretched into an entire game. And so, yeah, people are concerned. We'll see what happens. I haven't heard a whole lot of good responses from people knowledgeable. A lot of fans are happy, but I am seeing a lot of mixed reception about the demo. However, I haven't played it yet. I do plan on it. Hopefully, like I said, with the spring break and everything, I want to get into it. So hopefully I can talk about it next week. But yeah, it is. There's a pretty polarizing reception to it. But you can play it for free. Download it on your PlayStation right now. Gonna be a good time, hopefully. But, I mean, I'll still probably play it in April regardless, but it's interesting. It's interesting. And then another thing on the streaming side of things, the Long Dark developer has asked NVIDIA to take the game off of GeForce Now, saying that the company didn't ask permission to host it on their service, which is a big deal. I saw this one video, someone I followed on Twitter shared it, talking about, like, the legal terms behind what this means and, you know, streaming services. And I'm really excited. I haven't taken the time to watch it yet, but I really want to watch the video, because I've said on the podcast before that I am interested in how this whole thing works agreement wise with GeForce Now and the developers. And so this is just more about it, and it's very concerning, because you keep seeing more and more developers butting heads with GeForce Now, and I would really love to know why. And I think that video might answer some of my questions. But yeah, so I'll talk about the tweet. It says, sorry to those who are disappointed, you can no longer play #TheLongDark on GeForce Now. NVIDIA didn't ask for our permission to put the game on the platform, so we asked them to remove it. Please take your complaints to them, not us. Devs should control where their games exist. So, yeah, I mean, that was another thing. They made another statement that said that they offered us a free graphics card as an apology, so maybe they'll offer you the same thing. So, yeah, a little salty. You can tell they're not the happiest, but I don't know. It's just GeForce Now works so well, but A, it doesn't have the marketing, and B, you keep seeing this stuff, and it's very confusing, and I would love to know more as to what's going on over at NVIDIA with this. And, you know, are we going to continue to see stuff like this, or are they going to kind of switch gears? What's going on? I'd love to know. And I do wish, I feel like see, this is the thing, because it's like I bash Stadia for not communicating with people more, but here I am. It's like I wish I had a way to have better communication with GeForce Now. And so it's like, maybe it's just because I loved Stadia so much, and to see, you know, just to be totally like in the dark. I think they've done a much better job communicating, like Stadia has, but also I'm not as obsessed with it as I used to be, so maybe it's a little bit of both. With GeForce Now, it's like there's no good way to tell like what games have just been added besides just looking at their Twitter and hoping they talk about it. And so I wish that GeForce Now would be a little better at communicating what their intentions are, I would love to see what their roadmap is, like what's their plans for the future. Are we getting 4K support? Because I don't think they've ever really confirmed that. And so like I'd love to know more about this sort of thing, but sounds like they're dealing with their own stuff right now. So we'll see if we get anything about that anytime soon. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's been going on in terms of the news. And so it looks like this might be a little bit of a shorter episode again, because it's only been 20 minutes. I usually ramble on for a long time, But again, like I said, I'm still kind of tired. I'm less sleep deprived than I was last week. But life's been crazy lately. Like, I've been really happy and also really not happy in pretty short amount of times. And so I'm good. Like I said, like, I've really been focusing on my mental health. That is something I'm still prioritizing. I need to focus on the other stuff, because now that stuff is affecting my mental health because I haven't been attending to it. So, I just need life to slow down for a little bit. I think that's what I need. I need some free time because I don't get it. I really don't. But getting into our main topic today, I'm going to recap February, talk about the cool things that happened last month, and get into March, get into this month. Holy cow, we're almost a quarter of the way through the year. You ever think about that? We are 2 out of 12. We're a sixth of the way through the year already. Crazy. We are that much closer to new consoles, man. PS5, Xbox One X, or One X, Series X, all sorts of cool stuff, man. But, so... February, honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about because the best game of the month was Dreams. Enough said. The most popular game of the month was also Dreams. What I'd love to do, if I had the time and the space, would be I'd love to do sort of like a... Do you guys ever watch GameSpot where they did the top 5 Skyrim mods of the week? And I think they also did top 5 Fallout mods of the week. But the big one was Skyrim, where they just, play some really cool community-made mods each and every week. To do like a weekly Dreams thing, like top 5 Dreams things, because it'd be so cool. I think it'd be really fun. And Dreams is like, it will never get old because people will get better and better at it. There'll be better and better stuff. And people are always going to make stuff. And if, you do get bored with it, make your own stuff. Like, there's just so much value there. And so I'd love to. I still haven't played Dreams at all. Well, I played that little bit at the beginning, but I haven't played Dreams in like 2 weeks. It's really made me upset because I really want to spend time with that game, but I haven't had the time. That's another thing I want to do over spring break. You see how fast my spring break is filling up? It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. I'm struggling, guys. I'm really struggling. I just wish, okay, I'm going on a little rant here because, like I said, we're doing fine on time. So... people talk about how hard adulting is. Not to say that it's not hard. There are lots of challenges, especially when you add children to the mix. But as someone who worked full-time over the summer, I had so much more free time than in college. Because the thing about college nowadays is people expect you to... Well, here's the thing. People expect you to. Some people can get away with it, but I need to because I need to make money to pay for college. And so... they expect you to be a full-time student, and then they also expect you, I need to do a work study to make money, and then they want you to have work experience, so they want you to do an internship, and then you also need to be trying to work on any other opportunities to help boost your career portfolio. So I'm working on all 4 of those things. I'm taking 17 credit hours, although now I'm technically at 15 because I finished up a class. It was a short class for being a CA, so technically I'm taking 15 now. I've got my work study, I've got my internship, and I've got this podcast and other things that I like to work on to try and, beef up my portfolio and try to be as involved in the video game industry as I can be. And it takes up a lot of time. Like, it is over 40 hours a week that I'm working on this stuff, and I just have very little time. I'd say I'd have maybe an hour to 2 hours of free time a day. Maybe. It very much depends. It depends on the day. Because I work on the weekends because that's the only free time I have. And so I don't really get a whole lot of time to spend with my family back home. And, I have friends. I like to socialize with them. And that's been a big thing. I've been keeping up with my mental health. So I want to make sure I'm continuing to socialize. But then it's like I have to make time for that. So it honestly feels like a chore. Like, not that I don't have fun with my friends, but it's like I have to cut out things for it. And it's really hard. And so... one, I wish people would stop treating college kids like they don't know anything. Like, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of college kids that I know that are... it's appalling how lazy they are or how ignorant they are. It's ridiculous. Like, oh my God. Like, there are some people that just show up to college, don't have to worry about money, and just kind of like breeze through and don't really do anything with their lives. And then probably after the 4 years, they'll have some sort of connections. And so even though they didn't work for it, they'll still probably be pretty successful. And that's a little upsetting, but that's the way life works. But you know, for those of us who really have to put in the work, you know, it's really, really difficult. And I wish we'd get a little bit of recognition for that. Because there's plenty of people I know, like a lot of my friends are in very similar positions. And it's like, you know, just a little bit of recognition would be fine. Maybe get rid of our student debt. That would also work. But yeah, it's work really hard. So, and I feel like because I work so hard, everything's just sort of like, I just can't, I don't have the time to put in enough effort that I want to. And so I feel like I'm suffering because of, like, I feel like my work is suffering because of how much different work I'm doing. I don't remember the last time I, like, got a review in on time with my internship. It's just been ridiculous. And I just, yeah, it's been a lot. Yeah. But anyway, rant over. Well, I don't even know where I left off. We're talking about Dreams. I'd love to play more of that, but that was kind of the big thing in February. February is a small month. Darksiders Genesis was another game that came out, which, like I said, if you're a Darksiders fan, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a really fun time. And so, getting into March, there's a lot to talk about in March. So, really, really big games coming. These are just 6 really huge ones. There's even more coming that, you know, I can't 100% get into, like, just for time-wise, I'm not going to get into every single one of them, but I am going to get in depth with these 6 games that are really, really, really awesome, and I want to play every single one of them. So first off, it was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'm not going to talk too much about that because I talked about it earlier, but it is, I have no doubt it's going to be an extremely good game. Like, I will be shocked if it's a bad game. I mean, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for autosaves. That's going to be nice. I'm surprised that people have been taking that so well because Ori is not the first game to do that. Well, Pokemon Sword and Shield added autosaves, and you know, usually people will be kind of like hostile about it, be like, "Oh, you're making the game easy. There's no challenge anymore." Blah blah blah. You know, people have been pretty chill with it, and I'm glad because accessibility is everything. And so, you know, add more accessibility options. We've got tons of new ways to play video games and tons of really cool new innovations. So let anybody play games the way that they want to play it. But also, like, you know, like they can play it the way you want them to play it, but let them play it the way they want to play it because they spent their hard-earned money on that game. So let them enjoy it. So really cool. I enjoy that. That was kind of a little side rant, but then on March 13th, and this is a game that I'd love to play, but we'll see what happens. It's very much budget and time-wise. Neo 2. Technically, this would be during my spring break too, so I could probably have the time for it, and I might have the money for it. The reality is I don't, but I might be able to spare it and then complain later. But Neo 2 is really cool. I don't think I have the first game. I think I did have it, but I think I got rid of it recently. I might have. No, I very likely don't have it anymore. But very excited to play this one. I thought about participating in like the betas, that sort of thing. I just didn't have the time to. So I'm going to go into it completely fresh if I do get into it, which I really, really love to, but it's just very kind of up in the air about it. So yeah. Neo 2. It's, you know, it's a Dark Souls game, but it seems like they're really doing some cool stuff, some really wacky bosses, and that's really what I enjoy about Dark. That's why I love Bloodborne so much, is because the enemy variety is really, really good, and Sekiro kind of dropped the ball on that, I think, for me. Like, just there's a lot of enemy variety, and I from what I've seen from Neo 2, it looks like they're doing a lot of cool enemy variety and kind of taking some inspiration from Bloodborne. I think they're getting real, like, cool fantasy-esque with it this time, and so I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really cool game. Neo was really good, and I think Neo 2 is going to be really cool. So that comes out March 13th, and then on the 20th, there's a lot. First off, I found out what movie's coming out on the 20th. There's a big movie coming out on the 20th. Oh, shoot, what is it? Hold up. I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna bug me until I figure it out. But there's a big movie coming out on the 20th, and I was like, my God. Of course, it's gonna show me the movies coming out every day until the 20th. Is this the 20th? Yes. A Quiet Place Part 2. Yeah. I was like, what? That's coming out on the 20th? But then we also have Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons, both of which I'm very excited about, and it sucks because I'm probably not going to be able to play them both, at least right at launch. I'm definitely going to prioritize Doom Eternal because I'm so excited for that game. I played it last year at E3. It was absolutely phenomenal. I have no doubt in my mind it will be one of the best games of the year, if not the best. Who knows? It's kind of a niche thing, so it'd be weird. Well, then again, Sekiro is a niche thing, and it won Game of the Year, so maybe Doom Eternal will. I don't know. I'm very excited because it's just so good. They took everything good about Doom and just made it better. And so I'm very excited about Doom Eternal. I'm so excited. I am so I cannot express enough how excited I am about Doom Eternal. It's going to be an amazing game. I would bet my life on it. That is how sure I am that Doom Eternal is going to be a fantastic game. So I'm very excited about that. And then Animal Crossing. How the hell do you mess up Animal Crossing? I mean, it's going to be perfect because I will be killing it in Doom Eternal, just having a great time, and then I can relax with some Animal Crossing. Like I said, being able to play both of them at launch, we'll see if that actually happens. But if I'm able to, that'll be so nice. You know, relax, play some Animal Crossing, get some downtime that doesn't exist in college. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be rough. And then 3 days later, Half-Life Alyx drops. Now this is another one that I am for sure 100% playing because I already confirmed it. Like I said, I'm going to a friend's house because they have they have a Vive Cosmos, and so I said that I would buy it for them if we play it together. And so the plan is to try to blitz through it all in one day. So we'll see how that works with motion sickness and all. But that's kind of the plan because I'm leaving because it comes out on a Monday, which is really annoying. And then if it's anything like how Steam games usually work, it won't come out until 1 p.m., which is really annoying because I have classes. And so, yeah, it's annoying, but I'm going to try my best. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'm very excited for Half-Life Alyx. I'm definitely going to be playing it. I will definitely let you guys know exactly how amazing it is because I'm sure it'll be amazing. And it'll revolutionize the VR industry. I really believe that. I really do. I'm very excited. So if you have access to a VR headset capable of running Half-Life Alyx, just get the game. Like, why do I even need to be explained? Plus, all the Half-Life games are free right now on Steam, so you can play through them if you're like, I've never played Half-Life. You have no excuse not to play this game if you have a VR headset. If you don't have a VR headset, figure out a way to get to one. Because this is going to be big. I'm telling you that now. Yeah. And then the day after that, Bleeding Edge comes out. And so my grades are going to plummet at the end of March. Because that's another game I'll for sure play because it's another Game Pass game. And so I might not be able to talk about this, but why are they going to... I've played this already. I did not... I'm not talking about the open beta. No, I played the closed alpha. Technically not supposed to talk about it, but I'm not going to give any opinions of it because I don't want it to be detrimental. Because that's why they don't let you talk about when you like being able to play things is because they don't. If you had a bad experience, they don't want it to affect sales. Because to be honest, it's pretty likely. Like I played Anthem. Under a confidentiality agreement, like really early, well, not super early on in development, but before it came out, and like I ran into glitches and bugs and stuff, and so if I were to go around and say, you know, it's bugged and stuff, and it turned out to be a really good game, I mean, it didn't, so whatever, but like, you know, it would have hurt for a reason that it's just it wasn't finished yet, which was a clear thing, but you know, that's just how gamers' minds work. And so the same way of Bleeding Edge, like if I encountered anything bad, that wouldn't even be in the final game, you know, it hurt sales because of it. And so I'm not going to say anything about how I thought about the game, but I have played it. I didn't have time to participate in the open beta, but from what I remember, I think people were pretty psyched by it. It looks really cool. You know, I'm a huge Overwatch fan, so it kind of, it's not a full $60 game. So I think it's kind of got it's tempering expectations. You know, I don't think this is going to be like the premiere. Well, it might be. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm definitely gonna be interested. I'm definitely gonna check it out. But yeah, a lot of big games coming out in March. 2 big first-party Xbox titles in 1 month. Yeah, I don't know if I call them triple. I think they're double A. I would say double A. But yeah, it's exciting. It's very, very exciting. March is a huge month, and my wallet is hurting just thinking about it. But yeah, there's a lot. Geez, this might actually be the shortest episode yet. I really don't understand why my ramblings are getting shorter and shorter. Again, I think it's just because I'm tired, but I'm less tired than I was last week. However, this is going to be an even shorter episode, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting better at not rambling as much, even though I went into 3 rants this episode already. But that's kind of why I want to get in with a co-host, because there's only so much I can say about something, just me, my opinion. So I am excited to have some other people contribute some other opinions, because I think that will help a lot. But getting into the games that I'm playing, again, like I said, not a lot. I did play 2 games, so I'm up from last week. I played some Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the first time. So I was staying at a friend's apartment over the weekend, and my buddy Colin, he recently bought Battlefront 2 on sale because it was on sale on Origin, and he's like, here, try it out. Because I played the first Battlefront, but I hadn't played the second one because of all the controversy and everything. So I was like, okay, I wasn't really a fan of the first one. It was okay. I just wasn't a huge fan of the gameplay. I'm much more a Battlefield type of guy. And so Battlefront, I don't know, I never really got hooked with it. And then just the stupid luck-based system was ridiculous. Having to find the hero coin on the field or something and have that chance. But the second I started playing Battlefront 2, I was like, this is so fun. Just because now it's skill-based, so now it's you use your points to redeem for certain things. And so it's no longer based on luck. It's so great. I love it so much. It feels good. The nostalgia's there. It's everything that Battlefront 1 should have been. And so I'm kind of upset that Battlefront 2 shot themselves in the foot, because this is a really fun game. And there's been some talk in this past fall about hey, you guys should really jump into this game. It's really fun now. And I was like, well, whatever. And so that's how I feel like most people. But yeah, if you haven't played Battlefront 2 yet and have any sort of fascination with Star Wars, I think you should. I actually bought it for that. And so I played a little bit more of it. I want to check it out more. Another spring break thing. But it's really fun. And so, yeah, if you've been iffy about Battlefront 2, it's really fun and you should jump in, because there's a lot of cool stuff there. I haven't played the campaign. I just played a couple multiplayer matches. But I kill it as Yoda. Just figured I'd throw that out there. And then I played a little bit more Borderlands 3. My old roommate, my friend, messaged me. That's the message I got earlier, asking for Borderlands later. So it looks like I'm going to play some more tonight. But yeah, I'm having fun with it, as always. I thought I was going to beat it by now, but again, because I've been busy and stuff, I almost went a whole week without playing Borderlands. But then we played some the other couple nights ago, didn't we? Yeah. But yeah, it looks like I'll play it, because now I'm kind of free, because I'm leaving for spring break tomorrow. So I have one class left, and it's my Budokai class, which is a workout class, so I don't have homework for it. So I'm pretty set on school stuff, so that's nice. But I have plenty of other things I need to do, such as clean my room and do internship stuff. So I'm still really busy. I'm just less... I'm not cardiac arrest busy like I've been the past 2 weeks. But we're getting there. We are getting there. But yeah, so those are the games I've been playing. Like I said, not a whole lot. And honestly, I'm going to wrap it up there. Jeez, I feel a little bad now. But, well, like I said, one person with sleep deprivation gets hard to keep talking about things. And we're kind of in a point where it's I've talked about some stuff. Ooh, one thing I was going to say at the beginning of the podcast, which I'd like to talk about now, because it was something I was thinking about on the way over to the podcast studio. And so why not? There's no rhyme or reason to this podcast. Let's just keep it going. So I was thinking a lot about Nintendo and why we still haven't gotten anything from it. Because I saw this one tweet that was Breath of the Wild 2 could totally come out in 2020. They said they started working on it in late 2017. They said we're working on the next Zelda. And they were hiring a bunch of people last year, and so I think it can happen. The whole starting work on it in late 2017, I mean, it's plausible, but the fact that they did just hire a bunch of people last year, I mean, usually they'd have a little more time in the oven. So maybe spring 2021? maybe it won't be a fall release, but I don't know. However, it did get me thinking about, like, I really think that they're gonna have at least one like heavy hitter for the fall that, you know, will blow everyone away. But I was thinking, like, why haven't they talked about anything yet? Like, why have they been so quiet? And honestly, I'm wondering if they're using it to, like, they're saving their stuff for when the next gen talk really gets going. Like, because, you know, Sony's been real quiet. Xbox has been drizzling out information. But I'm wondering if Nintendo is waiting to save their big stuff for when all that other big news happens so that they can still be in the conversation. Because, you know, they've already said that they're not going to compete. They're not coming out with a Switch Pro this fall. They're not going to try to compete with those consoles. And, you know, that's fine. But they still need to compete for word of mouth. They still want the Switch to be relevant while this is happening. They don't want to have this, like, zero sales holiday season. And so I think they might honestly be waiting for whenever Sony officially unveils the PlayStation 5, for Christ's sake. It should have already been done. Or when, you know, Microsoft talks more about the Series X, and then once everybody's super pumped about that, they'd be like, hey, Mario Kart Ultimate coming out this fall. Breath of the Wild 2 coming out next spring. Bayonetta 3 coming out this fall. Just unveil all this news. I do think Platinum's last announcement with the whole 4 thing is going to be Bayonetta 3. But, you know, I think, because it's a smart move. Because, you know, it's sort of their way, because they are in competition. Even though they aren't coming out with a new piece of hardware this fall, you know, it's still a competition in terms of software sales. And so to keep in the conversation, I think, you know, they want to do that. And I think it's a smart move. And I think that's why we haven't seen a direct yet. Is I think they're playing their cards pretty close to their chest right now, and they're waiting for PlayStation or for Sony and Microsoft to play their cards and then be like, bam, we got this too. So listen to us as well and just make us cry for our wallets. And so I was thinking about that, and I'm legitimately thinking that that's what they're doing and that's what's going on. But yeah, that's my spiel. Like I said, like, because I listen to all the IGN podcasts. I'm 2 weeks behind on the IGN podcasts, just because I haven't had time, man. I had no time, and so it's been rough. But we're gonna try and be better. Spring break will help a lot. I hope I can just be fully caught up with spring break, and things can go better for me right now because I'm all over the place, very exhausted. And so I think I'm gonna wrap this episode up there. Thank you guys for listening. Next week, gonna talk about some Ori, hopefully. You know, with spring break and everything, I should, because I've got, let's see here, like, my sleep schedule will be different because I work full time, but I work second shift, which means I get off at 11, and so the game will come out at midnight, so, like, not too long after I get off work that Tuesday night, so that'll be nice. I'll probably just be dead for work the next day, but I should probably be able to get in a fair amount of time with Ori to be able to talk about it next week, like first impressions and all that. So yeah, that'll probably be the main thing to talk about next week, as well as something else. I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about. Maybe talk some more dreams, maybe, if I get the time, or all sorts of stuff. I would love to play more Kakarot and Darksiders, but that's very TBA, TBD, really. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Please let me know if you want to co-host a segment on the show or anything like that. And I will talk to you guys next week.